Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blacktown City Toastmaster podcast show, a toast with the master of Blacktown. Today, we have another incredible guest. His name is Charles Barnard. Charles is a business coach and recently joined Blacktown City Toastmasters Club. And soon after joining the club, he took the challenge of becoming a member of executive committee. So let's welcome Charles Barnard. How are you, Charles, today?
Thanks, Farheen. I'm absolutely great today, and it's a real privilege to be here. You mentioned that I joined the exec committee very soon after joining. And the reason that I did that is that I think that Toastmasters is such a wonderful opportunity to learn. So I thought if you're going to be doing something, membership is a great way to learn how to attract people. And I just thought what great skills you learn. So that's why I stepped up
That's
into something
great.
which is unusual.
That's great. And we are absolutely having a new member like you who has so much experience from your background. Could you tell us more about yourself? Like, what is your background? What is your experience? And yeah.
Okay. So I suppose, like many people in Blacktown City Toastmasters, I'm a migrant. I originally came from South Africa. I spent a lot of time in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, and even Khartoum in the Sudan. And those are some of my fondest memories. So in that context, coming into a place like Blacktown City Toastmasters, where there are other people who are very much of a migrant background, it was just so welcoming to come in. And yeah, I just felt at home, and Blacktown City Toastmasters has made me feel at home. And that in turn gives me the self-confidence to do a whole range of other things. From working here, taking up life here. And yes, I was a Toastmaster 30 years ago, but only for about 6
Oh,
months.
wow.
And I can honestly say that changed my career at that stage because, I was an engineer and very uncommunicative, as many engineers are. And Toastmasters really helped me change that. So with that actually helped me get the role into the Middle East. And I believe as also that background has given me a lot of comfort in that, hey, I can speak to people if necessary. So a little bit more about me, I suppose.
That's
Um,
awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. And I believe like 30 years ago when you joined the Toastmaster, that was entirely different
oh
feedback at that
yeah.
time. And what did you think at that time to join the Toast when you joined like 30 years back? What did you think at that time? Why did you join at that time?
Well, I joined then because I'd had an experience where I was a real specialist in MRP, finite capacity scheduling software.
Okay.
And I had somebody come and speak to me about it, and they were sitting on the desk opposite me, but I was so involved in my computer that I didn't even see that they'd fallen asleep directly opposite.
Oh.
So, talk about bad communication. That was me.
All right.
I
Okay.
needed to change. And actually, within 9 months, I actually gave a presentation to about 1,000 people in on the Institute of Brewing. And that in
Wow.
turn got me a job with the person who I'd made fall asleep. And that in
Interesting.
turn took my career to Saudi Arabia.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So that's the impact of Toastmasters. Like
Yeah.
you learned a lot and you were able to speak in front of like 1,000 people. And then you
Mm.
also got a job. So how important the communication skills are. That's the reason that people join the
Mm.
Toastmasters Club. Coming to
And
our
it's actually
club. Yeah.
why I've come back, to be quite honest, because I'm doing additional studies. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a late age mature student and I've started a PhD. And I
Hmm.
also feel that I want to do a career transition. And
Okay.
I've chosen that visionary communication pathway, which wasn't available before.
Hmm.
And it was really key in me joining because
Wow.
that's what I want to do. I want to actually be able to speak comfortably internationally And the studies that I'm doing, I believe, are an important message that I want to convey. And
Yeah.
Toastmasters is giving me the skills to be able to convey it. So Toastmasters is fantastic
Awesome. Yes.
as
So
far
tell
as
us
I'm
about
concerned.
your current executive role within Blacktown City Toastmasters Club. What is your
Okay.
role? What do you actually do in the club? In that perspective of your role, what are your responsibilities? So the audience will know more about you.
Okay, thank you. So I've taken on the role of Vice President of Membership.
Mm,
And what that entails is obviously helping convert people who have shown an interest
mm,
into Blacktown Toastmasters to help convert them into the process to Toastmasters. So
mm.
one, I found you have to be enthusiastic and believe in it. If you don't
Yes.
believe in Toastmasters, that's not the role for you. And quite
Mm,
honestly, you shouldn't be on the executive committee if you don't believe in Toastmasters.
mm.
But I really believe that it's important, but I also think that I can bring some skills into it. So
Yeah.
one of the first things I noticed when I joined Blacktown City Toastmasters is that there is a lot of programs in the background that provide support to the club,
Yeah.
but they weren't being used. So even our Blacktown City Toastmasters membership login page, there's
Mm,
the capability there to set up a proper sales process. So
mm.
part of what I see as my role is to work in the background,
Mm.
set up some of these processes, and then
Yes.
help teach other people how to use them. So what doesn't happen when I join,
Mm.
when I stepped into it, was that I could see there was a need for processes, and I thought
Yeah.
should bring other thing in, and
Mm.
there was no real handover. So my role, as I see it, to put these processes in place,
Mm.
help obviously grow the club and meet our goals that we need to
Mm.
do,
Mm.
but also to act as a handover coach
Mm.
to the next person in line, because that's how we grow and learn. So
Exactly.
I'm learning those skills for myself,
Mm.
and I'm also able to then transfer it to other people, because I think the job of a leader is to multiply the talents of others, and Toastmasters does that fantastically. So Toastmasters is a real curator of leadership, and that's important to me.
Yes, and you are doing your job absolutely great, to be honest. So that's my compliment to you because I just know you for last couple of months since you joined the club. Now, my other question to you is, Charles, I know that it's just few months that you joined the club, but do you have any interesting moment or any memorable moment within the club so far? If you would like to share that anything you liked the most or anything you found funny and anything, whatever you feel comfortable
Yeah.
to share with.
Yeah. It obviously appeals to everybody in terms of the way that one presents. And I think we've got an incredible mix of really enthusiastic people, so you have some
Yes.
additional members who are new to the
Mm.
club but not new to Toastmasters,
Yes.
and being able to learn from people like that is absolutely fantastic, and I think
Mm.
that's a real opportunity. so
Mm.
so that's the sort of like the, oh yeah, yeah. Now, on a personal note, I've been challenged at times, and I think it was from one of the other members, where I prepared a speech and it was on the topic of my studies,
Mm.
and I realized when I gave the speech, I missed the brief, and it was
Mm.
told to me. So I had a personal challenge. Do I
Yeah.
grow with this? What do I do with it? Do I just ignore it? But I decided to step back and come into it. So, and I
Mm.
thought that was the ability to challenge people to change their thinking is something that has come forward to me, and I think that's great.
Mm.
And then when you start putting it in with the laughter and the enthusiasm and the ability to experiment, yeah, we're having hybrid meetings, and they
Yes.
don't always go well
Yes.
technically. And yes, we've got to learn and take it up. But I know that we're also one of the few clubs that does that. So, we're leading the way. And that's what I love about Blacktown City Toastmasters clubs. We are leaders, not just of
Yes.
ourselves, but of other clubs in the area as well, Farheen.
Yes. No, that's I agree to that. Now, so what do you see if I talk about that, what skills you have learned so far in Blacktown City Toastmaster itself? Do you see any areas of improvement that you have improved with the help of these club meetings before joining the club and after joining the club? What is the difference do you see so far?
So it's obviously a very short time in terms of what I can do. But what I found is that there's much more emphasis this time around, compared to 30 years ago. And admittedly, my memory is probably a little bit flawed from 30 years ago, but still, nevertheless. But there's much more emphasis on storytelling, and I think that helps you connect better with your audience. So forcing me to go back and build stories for myself is actually that you can use elsewhere. So, any speech that you do, the purpose for me is not just here at this topic, but how do I take it and use that same speech in other areas? So a lot of the stories is what I'm trying to build up.
No, that's
sorry,
and this is
overrode you.
Yes. Now, this is exactly the challenge what I feel as well. And this is what I like about Toastmasters as well, especially when we have table topics and you have given one topic randomly and you just have to prepare something on spot and you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I think that's really move us out of our comfort zone to be more creative. And the more you do, and the more ideas, you can explore, you come up with something new and you say, oh, wow, I did it actually. And especially after the feedbacks for the next time. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, table topics is always an interesting thing, and it's a great way of connecting new people into the club because it's something that is challenging,
yes,
but not impossible. And it helps us stand up and get over our feet and actually draws us in. So in that aspect, table topics is brilliant. On the other hand, the more you do it, the better you become at being able to structure a response very quickly. So we've all heard of, that elevator speech or the topic that you've just got to throw in, and sometimes you just get called on out of the blue to speak on about it. And table topics is a wonderful way of preparing you for that.
Exactly.
So if you can handle table topics, you should be able to handle most things in your life.
Exactly. I agree. What would be the one last thing, Charles, you would like to say to encourage the audience to join Blacktown City Toastmasters Club?
Okay, so Blacktown City Toastmasters is an incredibly enthusiastic bunch of people, incredibly welcoming. And there's no question we are leaders in Toastmasters in the area. So joining us, you'll actually be exposed to a wide range of people with incredible skills, really welcoming and open. And what a better place to learn. I can't think of any.
Thank you very much, Charles. I hope a lot of people will listen to your advice who are living in the surrounding areas will come to our club very soon, and you will be signing up them for the membership.
Well, all I know is I'd love to do that because I just know you're part of me, and part of why I'm a business coach is I love helping people.
Yes.
And that's what Toastmasters enables us to do. So come along, you're going to get massive amounts of support.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Charles. Thank you. I really appreciate your time for today. And you shared incredible amount of information, your advices, and especially talking about telling people what is Blacktown City Toastmasters and overall Toastmasters community itself. What is it about and how people can improve. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I see you next time.
Thank you, Farheen. See you at our next meeting.